Good evening. It's Wednesday evening and it's just after 7 o'clock. That means it's time for Keto Confab. I'm your host, Elizabeth Hanson, along with my husband, Scott Hanson. And we are a keto support group that wants to support each other in living the keto lifestyle, especially according to the teachings of Dr. Annette Bosworth. And we welcome anyone into our group. And it's an open discussion, and I can never tell what's going to come up from week to week. And we try and point you towards some interesting articles or videos or books to help you on your keto way. And we love your feedback. Okay, so this week is the first week of August. Today is the 3rd of August. And this means 1 year since my reaching 100 pounds lost on keto. And this is a milestone for me. I have not gained all 100 pounds back, which is great. I have managed to gain back 20 pounds of it. And that is not recent. That happened right after I had COVID in October, and I just have not been able to get myself fully back on track to lose it. But I've lived an entire year, and I've struggled with this and that over this year, and only gained back 20 is still a win for me. I'm still proud of myself. I want to lose that 20 and about 60 more. But I haven't found the thing to help me yet. But I'm going to figure it out. Figured out the last bit. I'm going to figure this out. So this week in my keto life, things went a little awry. On Thursday, I went and had a massage because I'm having upper back problems because of a fall I had. And when you have a massage, you're supposed to drink extra water, because the massage, you need more water. Well, I didn't drink extra water. In fact, I didn't drink as much water as I normally do. And then I made my second mistake of the day. I decided to have a vanilla cupcake, a real live wheat-laden, sugar-infested vanilla cupcake. What got in my head, making me think I could do that, I have no idea. But I did it. And later that night, my blood pressure spiked up to 200 over 94. And I had a horrible headache. I felt really wretched. And it took hours for it to come down to a normal level to where I could lay down and actually go to sleep. You would think that laying down and going to sleep would help with that, but no, that was worse. Couldn't lay down. So, okay, hopefully that will keep me away from anything wheat and sugar laden. And also remind me to drink all my water. And I've done really well with my water since then. And I don't know why I forget. Why I know this. I know I can't eat wheat. I know I can't be shoving all the sugar in my face. I know it's going to affect my blood pressure. My blood sugar, not as much as it used to, but my blood pressure, and I know it's going to be bad. Why do I do this? Oh, it's very annoying. The other thing that happened that day was it was a really hot day here, and I just cannot walk the dog on really hot days. And I need that physical exercise to keep my blood pressure under control. And so it was the trifecta: not enough water, the massage, the eating sugar, the eating wheat, and not having the exercise that made that happen. But I tell you, it was scary. It was very uncomfortable, and hopefully it's a lesson I will hold on to for a while so I don't do it again. Now, the other things I want to share with you before I open it up to everybody else was today I went to the Crazy Days once a year, the first week of August on the Wednesday, our little town here has what they call Crazy Days, where all of the little businesses put stuff they want to put on clearance outside on the sidewalks, and they mark it down like crazy, and they try and get rid of it all. So on my little jaunt through all the little Crazy Days stuff, I found this. What this is supposed to be is this is a microwave bacon maker. So it's a thing that has this in it, and you hang your bacon strips over these little things, and you put it in here, and then you seal it up, and you cook it. Oh, it actually will stay on there, and you cook it in the microwave, and your bacon's all cooked. And I'm like, well, it's $1. I think I'll give it a whirl. But now that I have it home, I'm like, you know how crummy that's going to be to clean every time with all that.
Dishwasher. You
Yeah,
have a dishwasher?
we have one. It's currently broken. So the dishwasher's name is me and Scott and our younger girl, Hannah. We're all sharing turns doing the dishwashing. So I may wait until the part for the dishwasher comes in to try that. Because one of the things I dislike about bacon is how long it takes to cook, you know, to where I want it. You know, if I do it in the oven, it's 20 minutes, you know, sometimes 30 if I want to flip it and get it a little more crisp. And on the stove, it's the same thing. It's like 15, 20 minutes, and I want it now. So a lot of times I will bake bacon ahead of time and put it in a container and then microwave it later. But I don't really like microwaving it. And number one, and number two, it is summer here. And I don't like using the oven when it's so hot. We don't have central air. And on a hot day, we don't want that oven on, you know, because it just makes it too hot. Then the other thing I wanted to share with you all tonight is a video that I watched this week. It's a video with Dr. Ken Berry, and he is interviewing a heart surgeon. The heart surgeon's name is Philip Ovadia, and he went to Harvard. He's published. He does like all sorts of you know, open heart and valve replacement and everything kind of surgery. And he realized a number of years ago that the advice that he gave patients to follow this dietary advice, cut back on fat and everything, and also the standard of care, which is to look at LDH as what of your cholesterol, which is what should determine whether you should be on a medication or you should lower or upper your cholesterol and everything, was wrong. And he is now a firm believer in the keto diet, and that cholesterol is not the best measure of heart health. He believes in the CAC test, and he thinks that most heart doctors focus on LDH or LDL cholesterol is wrong, that there are better factors that can be looked at. And it's really it's about an hour long, and it's a really good discussion. And they get into saturated fats, why saturated fats aren't bad for you, and what kind of tests you really should be asking your cardiologist or your regular doctor to run, and when to change doctors. If you go to a doctor and he says, oh, your LDL is too high, because he says now the American Heart Association is starting to say they want that LDL below 100. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And he's like, that is wrong. He says, that is wrong. That is too low. That is not healthy. And he says, he and Dr. Barry are talking about when to find another doctor. If your doctor says this, it's time to find another doctor. And this is how you might ask about it. And if your doctor doesn't answer right, time to leave the office. And so I thought it was good. He also goes into talking about vegan diets, vegetarian diets. Are they really the healthiest? Plant-based diets, and why or why not? Is red meat really bad for your heart? How do we know that, etc. And I know we have someone who is a vegetarian that typically attends, and she's very concerned about heart health. And I would love for her to hear what they have to say. But she has to make her own decision about what she wants to do with her life and why she's chosen to be vegetarian, you know. But I just thought it was a really good discussion of all these things that we talk about all the time. We talk about our cholesterol and our blood pressure. They talked about blood pressure as well. They both said that right now the American Heart Association is wanting people to have a blood pressure of 120 over 60 or 120 over 70. And they said that's way too low for people over the age of 65 to have. They're going to be falling over and dizzy and not able to focus mentally and stuff. When you get older, you need a higher blood pressure. And so trying to keep everyone to this low standard, 120 over 60, is crazy, and it's unhealthy. And so I just thought it was a really good discussion, and I'll put a link to it in the video replay for everybody. It might be good if you're thinking about any of these issues or want to talk to your friends or family or your clients, Renee, about their blood pressure or their cholesterol or their heart health or anything like that. So it's very, very interesting. So that, oh, and today, I don't know what's with me today. I get 2 points. I get 2 points today. Oh, this doctor, he has a book out and it's called Stay Off My Operating Table. Just a second, Scott, maybe we should send her to the bathroom. No. Here's Sarah. Come back. Sorry. He has a book out called Stay Off My Operating Table, and he discusses, everything about cholesterol and saturated fats and keto and carbs and et cetera, in his book. And I just ordered it for my office this week. It's available on Audible and Kindle and of course hardback and paperback and everything. So it's readily available. I did look on YouTube to see if somebody had pirated a copy of the Audible on YouTube, and it's not there, so had to buy one. And then the other thing is I watched another video this week. It's an older lady. She's 70 years old and she lost 100 pounds with keto, and she's kept it off 3 years or something. I'm hunting for it. And she runs a keto YouTube channel, and she's spunky, and I like her. she's fun and she's spunky. But she says she has so many of her friends, that are older like her, that just are not functioning and have all these aches and pains. And if they would just listen to her about food, it would be so different for them. So I might link that one down too. So how was everybody else's week? Tammy, what have you decided about your drink?
I've decided that I'm not drinking it anymore. And
Okay.
I just did that like 2 days ago. So I'm not going to drink those anymore.
Okay.
So we're going to try that for a month or two and see if it makes a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I started doing a little bit of OMAD. I've done a couple days of just eating dinner. I don't eat at work at lunchtime. So we'll see on that too. So just, if you do that, you just don't eat as much food in a day. So that's good too.
yeah,
But I'm never hungry. I believe that I've been fat adapted for years and I'm never hungry. I eat because, oh, I came home from work and, oh, look, it's time to eat. And I feel like I want something in my mouth, but I'm never hungry. I've never had hunger for years.
yeah. You know, Dr. Boz, she has that little poster in the book that you can print out or copy or whatever that says, shut the door, you're not hungry, you're bored. Well, I put that on a couple of strategic places around the house, and I notice it from time to time. But today I was out and about, shopping at the Dollar General store, and I was looking at all the candy near the checkout. I mean, that is just, ugh. Anyway, and I was looking at it and I'm like, and I'm like, but you're not even hungry. And I'm like, whoa, that's the first time I've said that to myself. Otherwise, usually it's, that looks delicious. I'll just get one. But today I actually said to myself, you're not hungry. Why do you want that? And so pat on back, made it out without any. So that was good. So Patricia, you wanted to say something.
Tammy, look what I have here. This is Celestial Seasons Bengal Spice. So it's like a cinnamon kind of flavor with cloves in it.
Mhm.
And then it's 50% seltzer water and 50% tea. And I find it so refreshing. Of course,
Let me show you what I just got.
refrigerated.
So it's called Bengal.
You want
What?
me to grab it? You want me to grab the box?
It's Bengal
Well,
spice. I drink it too. It's really good.
Oh, do you really? Oh,
Yeah.
see, I
I
wouldn't.
drink it as a hot tea.
Oh,
So I just got delivered from Amazon today. I got vanilla bean
Yeah.
oh,
and I got glazed lemon loaf tea
oh,
and butterscotch blondie tea.
oh.
Oh,
Now,
does it have a butterscotch flavor?
Yeah.
Wow.
Indulge in rich black tea swirled with notes of smooth butterscotch and creamy vanilla. And the lemon one, I like lemon stuff. Revel in a dessert-worthy tea with tangy notes of lemon and velvety creamy vanilla. Anyway, just got delivered today, so I haven't even had any of those, but made me think of your tea
Yeah,
and some, specialty type flavors.
yeah. So you're on to that trick.
I got this delivered today.
Lemon balm leaf tea.
Yeah,
It's a
and
tea.
I haven't tried it yet, but it smells lemony, but it doesn't have any actual lemon in it. It's just the lemon balm leaf. And lemon balm leaf is in the family of the peppermint plant. And the reason I got this is I read an article about how it helps with anxiety and tension in the body. And I've been having so much upper back pain and spasming in my upper back since I fell. And I'm like, well, maybe drinking some lemon balm tea would help. So I'm going to try this and I'll let you guys know if it's it smells good, but who knows?
Well, anyway,
I
I
like
make it
peppermint
and I
too.
put it in the refrigerator and I let it get cold and I just love it mixed in with some seltzer water. I did want to talk a little bit about my brains course that I'm taking. As I said, there's just 5 students and 3 of them have had severe brain injuries from car accidents.
Oh,
So much so that they can no longer work in their professions. And so today was the lesson on jumping rope. And also, to my surprise, I'm surprised Wilma never mentioned this, there is a free online assessment that you can do. And I mean, I paid $100 for my course, and the assessment normally costs $87, but it's free.
Mhm.
And it goes through some kind of algorithm, and it comes back with some recommendations. And mostly it has to do with, drug use, Prozac, and also sleep. And I haven't even taken it, but I don't know. But I was so surprised that, and then supposedly Dr. Boz is going to actually she gets the printout before we do, and then she sends her little evaluation of it. She uses their summary, and then she sends. So that's a nice little benefit. I don't know what the future of this brains course is going to be. I know she's working on a brand new course now.
Mhm.
And, but I know that these people that were giving the same course month in, month out, and making way over the payback for what they initially put out, that has stopped.
Mhm.
But I just wanted to mention to you all that if you do have a chance to take the course, and if that possibility is still there, that assessment, I think it's valuable. It is, of course, very private. It's the one that they actually use by social workers
Yeah,
to get an initial picture of your situation.
when Scott and I took it, that was available too, and I believe I did it. I don't know if Scott did. Did you do the assessment? The, with the brains course?
I think I did, yeah.
Oh, he thinks he did. I cannot remember what it told me. I know it didn't tell me I was brain dead, but it was interesting. But like you said, there was a lot about drug use and depression and sleep and stuff, much of which didn't
And
apply.
that's part of the thing I also wanted to mention. I was in another group where this 75 plus woman was talking about how her numbers are not what she wants them to be, and she's not getting all the numbers that she wants, and she's so discouraged. And I said, look here, look how much your attitude has changed. See how the improvement in your whole overall system has improved your outlook on life. And I said, a lot of people don't measure that, but for me, I mean, I have had people ask me, how many times a month do you get depressed? And I say, 0. And it's true. I don't get depressed. It might have to do with something spiritual that I'm doing, but I feel like I've got this thing under control, and I have a method through Dr. Boz of dealing with it. And hook or crook, I'm going to get to the end of my rope here. I'm going to continue on until I've won this battle, and I'm not feeling discouraged at all. So I just wanted to mention that there's another facet to getting your weight under control, and that is your your disposition, your depression, your level of depression. So besides that, I can't say. We were on the road quite a bit. We drove to Baltimore and back. That's a 9-hour drive. And we were pretty careful. When I got to McDonald's, I just had a double bacon cheeseburger and without the bun. So I think I did okay, drinking water the whole time. But now I've got my sweet little 7-year-old granddaughter, and she has a very finicky diet, and I mean, I make her bacon and eggs and she said, no, Grandma, I'm not eating that. I'm not. And then her grandpa got her some yogurt with M&Ms in it. And that's all she wants for breakfast. So anyway, we'll get through that too. But as far as I'm doing, I'm fine. And thank you all for being here. I enjoy talking to you all every week.
We missed you last week, Patricia. I told everybody that your husband had something and you had to be gone, but we missed you and everything. Oh, hey.
Either way,
Tammy.
everything turned out negative for him.
Oh, good.
But
Good.
I had to wait there in the waiting room for 3 hours.
Oh,
And then he heard that the doctor left a message on my phone, and he didn't like it. He thought the doctor should have found something. And so I said, okay. But I said, I'm happy he didn't find anything.
no. I don't want doctors to find anything. No.
Well, if you have
Tammy?
a problem, you do want something found because you don't want to go home and not have an answer to what your problem is. So you
Exactly.
always, if you have a problem, you want an answer.
But if
And
it's
if he
just
had a problem, but in general, you don't want him to discover a problem.
No. Hey, Tammy, you know what
Yes.
Scott said to me? I think it was 2 weeks ago after Keto Confab. He says, you know what? Tammy's dog is really interesting colored. He very interestingly colored. He has a great coat. I'd like to paint him. Scott,
Or it would look good in a painting or something.
yeah, he'd look good in a
'Cause it's-
painting.
Yeah.
I said to him, you should ask her for a picture of him so you can use
I'll
it.
send you one.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Now he wants to bark. He's an Australian Shepherd and the color scheme. Stop it. Stop.
Yeah, I think you mentioned before. that he's
Color scheme is a
Australian
red
Shepherd.
merle. So he's got all those
Oh.
browns and lots of browns and
Yeah.
his name is appropriately Snickers.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
all these browns. He's down here. I stopped barking when I told him I got the handout.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna send him outside and shut the door pretty soon. Then I look at the door is like right here and I look at the door and he'll be at the door just looking in.
Yeah, and I think his eye color is great too. I think the color of his eyes
What?
are definitely part of the appeal there.
Yeah. I'll send you a picture on Facebook.
Okay.
I'll open the door for him. You wanna go outside?
Oh, by the way, we took our full-size lab with us to Baltimore.
Oh,
So lots of breaks, took lots of breaks. And she did really well. She did so well. And then she had her big fat cushion in the corner of our hotel. And she was fine. She did great. So that was first time for us to try to do that. But she did great.
yeah.
My dog had a puppy play date tonight.
Oh, play date.
I had the neighbor dog come over. He's only 11 weeks or so, but he's bigger than Snickers, but,
Oh.
and anyway, they had a good time.
Oh. So Scott went to a event today and talked to a few people.
Oh yeah. So we had an event at the college today, and I was talking to a lady who is about, I think, 75, and she was a student there at the college about 20 some years ago, and she's taught part-time there, and she's worked in the community for quite a while. But anyway, she was talking about she tried recently to eat. We were there sitting there eating, and of course, the subject of diet came up, and she mentioned that she had tried recently, maybe a few months ago, to go onto the keto diet, but she said that she has limited income, and the keto stuff is so expensive, and I said, well, I'm not quite sure what you mean. But I asked, you know, do you mean like those keto bars and things? And she says, yeah. And I said, well, you know, a lot of that stuff that's marketed as keto probably is kind of expensive. But you can actually, and it's probably best to not buy that stuff anyway. And she says, yeah, I noticed that at least some of that stuff has too many carbs anyway. And I said, yeah. And I described to her what I eat. And you know, I said that, you know, eggs, I mean, eggs are relative to other stuff. Eggs are pretty inexpensive. And you know, you can eat a meat that's less expensive, you know, chicken, if you like chicken, you know, or whatever. And then, you know, sunflower seeds and peanuts and spinach. You know, spinach is compared to other vegetables, spinach is probably one of the least expensive ones. You know, and so, but anyway, so, you know, I talked with her a little bit about what I eat and stuff, and she asked me to write out what it is I eat and send it to her. So I'm going to do that and send it to her. And she's diabetic, but she's cut back on the sugar that she eats, and she says she does intermittent fasting, and so I asked her, you know, the details of what she does, and she says, well, she gets up fairly early in the morning, about 4 or 5, and doesn't eat until noon, and so, you know, it's an intermittent fast there then. But anyway, yeah, so you know, I'll write up what I eat and send it to her, and hopefully that'll help her along. Another thing is, this week I was talking with, let's see, Tuesday, yeah, yesterday I was talking with one of my former students. He's probably early 40s, I suppose, and he was on the keto diet about, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, and then got away from it. But then he's started in again recently, and he's on insulin, and he's limiting his carbs, and he says he's at about 50 grams of carbs per day, and he's been able to cut his insulin in half, and he's hoping to cut it in half again, you know, and try to eat fewer carbs. He makes soup with beef broth, and he talked about a few other things that he does, you know, in terms of keto, and so it's encouraging that he's been able to reduce his insulin, and you know, and he was talking about the fact that, you know, you can't just decide one day that you're going keto and just all, you know, go cold turkey, because it takes a lot of preparation, a lot of planning, and you got to, you know, and he says it's really a lifestyle. You have to actually just accept the fact that you're changing your lifestyle. And I said, yeah, that's true, you know, and because we really have an emotional relationship with food, and we don't realize it, you know, but the food we eat is actually part of our way that we cope with stress, or the way that we feel. We don't really realize it, but we actually arrange our lives in a way that we feel comfortable, at least as comfortable as we can be, and food is one of it, and we don't really realize that, you know. But I think those of us on this group realize that, because we've made radical changes to what we eat, you know, and so really we should think of it as a lifestyle. We shouldn't think of keto as a diet. We should think of it as a lifestyle, actually. But anyway, so yeah, so those are a couple different people I talked with this week about the keto diet, or the keto lifestyle.
I have a good keto diet. It's from Dr. Westman, and I'll send you it's just a 1-page short little thing I
Okay.
can send you.
Right.
And Elizabeth, I just sent you some pictures of Snickers, but send me back your email address. I can email it to you.
Amy, send that to me as well. I'll put my email address off to the side.
I'll let me post my email address. I'll just tell you what it is here. And
Yeah, the Dr. Westman plan, that page 4 thing, that's very good. That's good to have for sure. I started to do that. I don't know why I didn't follow up on it, but it included stuff like corn. And I heard somewhere that,
No,
There
it doesn't
is-
include corn.
okay,
Um,
I've heard somewhere that there's no corn, even if you grow it from seed, there's no corn that is not GMO. So after I heard that, I
there's-
said,
I'm sure there's not corn in here. I've looked at it plenty.
Yeah, Patricia, I've heard that too, that any corn you find anywhere in the United States is GMO, even if you're buying seed. I mean, unless you can go through someone who is certified non-GMO and get your own seed, but
You have to look up heirloom seeds.
heirloom seeds, yeah,
Yeah. Heirloom seeds are non-GMO.
yeah.
This is his one page.
Whoever you're ordering it
thing.
from is from an heirloom certified company.
Mhm. Yeah, that Eric Weston, is that who you're talking about?
Westman.
Westman. Oh, yeah, that one, yeah. This older lady that she's all spunky and everything that I was talking about earlier, that's how she got into keto, was through Eric Westman.
Well, I
And-
did his course too.
Oh, did you?
And I went to a one-day event with him and Amy Berger, and Ken Berry was there too, and his wife Nisha, and another doctor. And so they each talked for an hour or so, whatever they talked for. And anyway, I got my sister to go with me too, and we just both bought the course that day and just did it, earlier this year.
Oh, yeah,
And he does limit what you eat. I mean, it's not like, cheeses, 4 ounces a day. He's got fats and stuff. There's certain fats that you can have. You can have 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, a half of avocado, 2 pickles a day, 6 olives. Where's the fat stuff? 2 tablespoons each of mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, that's one item. And then 2 tablespoons of butter, ghee, oils, heavy cream, or sour cream, whichever combination you want to make your 2 tablespoons, or 2 tablespoons of oil-based salad dressing. Now, I believe that is 6 tablespoons. And if I wanted to have 6 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream and no mayonnaise, that's fine too. But you can mix and match. But 6 tablespoons of fat, of added fat like that, So, his diet is a lot restrictive. You just don't get to eat all the fat you want and all the food you want. You do get to eat some foods. You can have 2 cups of like lettuce type things, measured uncooked, 2 cups, and then you can have 1 cup of vegetables to put on your salad of whatever you have out of this list. And so the vegetables in salad is not unlimited either. So, it's a good diet to lose weight. Well, his is to lose weight and to for type 2 diabetes too. So it's not, now he doesn't let you have, his rules say you don't get to eat nuts. Now, nuts can be low carb if you can stop at the serving size that you're supposed to have. But I can stop at serving size of everything except peanuts. But if I have peanuts, I'm going to eat 6 ounces of peanuts. That's just, so it's best for me to have no nuts or no peanuts than to have only 1 ounce. I probably can't do 1 ounce because I'll just keep going back and back. So he says no nuts because for half the people, they can't stop eating them or when they start. So he just says no nuts in case you're one of those people that can't.
Yeah, the
control it.
thing with Scott is that because of his type of metabolism, his height and his weight, and everything, he tolerates more carbs than you and I do.
Oh, yeah.
You
Well, this
know?
is phase one. So if you're like in
Yeah.
phase 2 or phase 3, then you, like Scott would probably be in phase 3.
Right.
You're not,
The thing I do with nuts is, yeah, that's true. I mean, if I've got a container of peanuts sitting here or a container of, sunflower seeds or whatever sitting here, yeah, I'll eat, an
Excess.
unlimited amount of it. But the thing is, though, with the sunflower seeds, I actually measure out a quarter cup of it. I go to the kitchen, measure out a quarter cup of it, put that quarter cup onto a little plate, and bring it out here to the living room where I'm sitting working on my computer. And so I'll eat from that. And so once that's gone, then that's it. And that's the way I make sure that I only eat a certain amount.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but if that was me, I'd be going back in that kitchen.
I
Yeah,
do go back, and that's my problem.
right.
No, but if you're into a gas station, or if you go into, I bought some at Dollar General for $1, you just get the prepackaged nuts. I'm not going to open 2 of them. I'll open 1 and stop. I won't open 2 and 3, but if you have a jar of them, I keep going back for more. But if I could be, I could probably weigh out an ounce or an ounce and a half, put it in a little plastic bag and take it to work, because, I don't have access to the rest of it.
Right.
What I find, though, is when I'm eating eating the peanuts, and it's only the peanuts, not everything else I can put away and stop. If after I finish my peanuts, then if I drink something, so it kind of cleanses my mouth of the peanut taste, then that kind of, the need to go back and get more kind of goes away, because I'm not feeding that peanut taste that's already in my mouth. So if I drink water or drink pop or whatever I drink, afterwards, I feel that's better. Because my favorite one is spicy peanuts, and they're so good. And so you got that spicy in your mouth, that spicy coatings, that's on the peanuts. And I just want to eat more and more and more. So I've got a couple tricks, because I still buy the 6-ounce container, but I try to make sure that I eat it at least over 4 times. That's 1.5 ounces per time. Tricks I got to do to myself. The biggest one, of course, is don't start eating them. So don't start.
Yeah, that's the easiest. So Renee, we haven't heard from you, and you weren't here last week. We missed you too.
Oh, I've had quite the adventure lately. I've been dealing with all kinds of fiascos at my place. Elizabeth knows probably about this. I don't know how much she shared with everyone else, but a couple of weeks ago, my computer crashed and I lost everything on my hard drive. And then I had been watching a movie on YouTube in my living room. My cat was asleep at the foot of my chair, and we're all nice and comfortable, and got violently woken up by a huge crashing noise. So I went in the other room and had a few guests literally drop in on me. Yeah, I have what's called a false ceiling or a drop ceiling. And so there is an 18-inch space from what you see as my ceiling to the true ceiling of the next floor. And that's because my house is over 100 years old. And so, well, almost 100 years old. And so when they would put air conditioning into these old houses, typically what they would do is they would run the unit up through a central point in the house, and then they would run the ducting between the 2 floors up on the ceiling, and then just put a drop ceiling down to cover up all the ductwork. And apparently a pair of bachelor raccoons got up into my false ceiling and came crashing through my ceiling into my living room. Yeah, or not my living room, but my my reception room for my business. And yeah, I wasn't like on Patricia's face. You should have seen the look on mine, because I'm going into this room going, and I look up and I see there's 4 of these 12 by 12 panels gone. And I'm like, going, okay, with that many gone, this sucker came through the ceiling. This wasn't just a panel that fell through. I mean, something came with it, right? And so I'm doing this whole creep into the room, you know, like, okay, what's back there kind of look. And so I say I named them, and I didn't name them because I kept them, but I named them for, you know, for the sake of telling a story. So poor George fell through my ceiling and landed into an area that literally was basically a cage. Because I had some wire shelves set up, in the area where he fell down was backed into some other shelves. So he literally, where he dropped down was between the wall and a bookcase and some wire shelving. So basically he dropped down into a cage. And he's just back there looking so sad and pitiful, like, oh Lordy, what have I done? And then his buddy George was still up in the raft, well, the ceiling area, and kind of started to take his paw and step down. And I'm like going, oh, no, not happening. And I said it out loud, and he looked at me like, well, okay, maybe not. So he pulled his paw back, started to put his paw back down again to come down in. I'm like going, oh, this is not happening. And I think he was probably going to join his buddy and see if he could help him, until he saw my cat Sunshine. And then he was like going, nope, George, you're on your own. Boom, and took off running. Sunshine, bless her heart, I've never seen her tail puffed up quite that large. I said, you know, Sunshine, if your tail puffs up any bigger, you're gonna have all your hair fly off your body, girlfriend. But yeah, she wanted to go investigating and give that raccoon a what for about being in her space. And I was like, oh no, baby, the raccoon will tear you up. So unfortunately, I live in a small town. So normally in a larger city, you could call animal control and they would come out and get your raccoon. No, not in Guthrie. After 5 p.m., our animal control literally closes down. There's no after hours number. It's just closed. So after hours, you are automatically routed to the Guthrie Police Department. So they had to come and try to get this raccoon out, and they tried using the forgot what you call it, the pole that has the little loop on it for catching dogs. But anyway, so the poor raccoon kept getting out of the hole, and anyway, but he finally found a way out and went scurrying out of my house between me and 2 other police officers. And I've not heard them since. But the next day, I had a gentleman from it's a company called Skunk Bait Wildlife Control out here. And real nice guy. I've met this guy at several of our chamber functions, and he came and did a full assessment of the ground floor of my house, and then he even went up on my roof, and he actually found some pretty significant damage on my roof and my chimney he said, I would guess probably from back in March when we had our last ice storm, and some tree damage. So he sent us an estimate on what it would cost to fix all the stuff. And so I've sent that on to my brother. But yeah, it's been the adventure here. So I've been having to recreate documents that, you know, the last time I backed up my computer was 2019. I know better. I worked for a computer company. Oh yeah. Look at the look on Elizabeth's face. Yeah. Yeah, I know better. I know to back my computer up. But yeah. I'll do really good backing it up about once every, 2 or 3 months, and then it'll be once every 6 months, and then I just flake out. It's like I go off in space. Anyway, so yeah, so everything from May of 2019 on, I lost on my hard drive, but I've got it with my old computer boss. And a lot of times when others can't fix stuff on a computer or say, I'm sorry, we can't fix this, or we can't retrieve this, he usually can. So keep your fingers crossed that he can retrieve my stuff. But anyway, so, and my computer went down the day before I had to preach at church. Yeah. My sermon was on my laptop. all the bulletins for church were on the laptop. The PowerPoint for church was on my laptop. There's George. Look at her picture that I sent Elizabeth. That's little George, yes. You'll have to show them the picture I sent you of the hole in the ceiling. You'll have to pull that one up. But yeah, so our pastor once a year goes on vacation to celebrate their anniversary and just to kind of refresh and regroup. Yeah, there's the hole in the ceiling, guys, on Elizabeth's screen. But it now has a board over it, so they can't come in and visit anymore. But and so because I always send, I stand in the pulpit for the pastor whenever he travels. I'm a lay pastor, and so I always send my sermon to him, thankfully via email, so that he can review it, see if I'm, if I'm on the money or if I've gone off in left field or in a rabbit hole, so to speak. And usually I've done good. And so I was able to print that off from my email on my phone. But yeah, so I had to make an executive decision that Sunday morning. And for the first time, our church went live on Facebook. Because I couldn't, even if I could videotape it, there was no way for me to edit it because my computer was dead. So I'm also supposed to do in September. I'm actually presenting to my acupuncture professional association. I'm the educational speaker. So I have to recreate all of those documents. I was able to pull some of them off because they were created before 2019. And I was lucky enough that I also, prior to Keto and Confab, I used to send everything that I would create to our lovely Miss Elizabeth and let her look at my, I would save it as a picture and send it to her and say, what do you think? Does this look good? Did I mess up on words or whatever? So I at least have pictures of all of it. My life has not been the most wonderful just recently. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Needless to say, I've not been the most diligent about keto. My brain has been pretty much everywhere but keto. I've tried to pretty much stay on keto, but I've had a few other things on my mind. And I think probably in the past, I think 3 months, I've probably gained about 20 pounds. So I've got to get rid of it again. So, and I can. And that's another thing, is I'm going to have to go back and see my knee doctor again. Although right now it is so hot in Oklahoma, I can't go walking. But it has gotten to a point where it hurts for me to walk from one spot to my kitchen. I mean, and my house is not that big. So I'm having trouble continuing to move. And I know that if I don't move, if I just stay very still, it's going to make the pounds come back on no matter how I eat, just because your body's not utilizing what you're eating. So not as much good news for me.
Hey, but at
Right,
least,
sorry, I'll take over.
the thing is, even though we make big mistakes, which I make plenty of them, at least you're still willing to try and stay connected and not say screw it and everything. And yeah,
Well,
I
trust
made
me,
a
the
big mistake.
temptation is there, Elizabeth. The temptation is there.
Well, sure.
I got so frustrated the other night. I was like, well, I don't even know why you're trying, Renee, because you've gotten 20 pounds of that 80 pounds you've lost back, and you can't really get it back off because you're not walking. And so I'm doing this whole ragging thing on myself, and I was like, well, why are you doing this to yourself? You're sabotaging yourself. I have to say that that was kind of a proud moment for me, because I realized about 20 minutes into my ragging session on myself that I was literally trying to sabotage myself. So, I think the great thing about this group is that it does teach us to think about what you're saying to yourself during this journey. Are you helping yourself in the process, or are you saying things because it's a habit, maybe, that are going to undermine you, that are going to make you not be able to do what you need to do? And there's also, I think for me, I'm learning that level of self-forgiveness. Like you said, Elizabeth, we all make mistakes. We all have those crash moments where we go, yeah, well, today was just not a good day. But the point is, get back on the track. And, okay, so if you had a week of doing things really bad, okay, you had a week. You can't go back and, erase the week, but you can go forward in the next week and say, okay, I'm not going to make those same errors for a whole nother week. At some point, you have the opportunity to quit and restart the process.
Yeah, every day's a new day. And we, even while I was sitting up during the night with my very high blood pressure and doing some alternative nostril breathing helps bring my blood pressure down. And ice to the back of my head helps with the high blood pressure headache, and drinking water, of course, and everything. I'm sitting there. All right. So what does this mean? What do I have to do differently so that this doesn't happen again? I'm getting better at not just constant self-flagellation, that I'm bad, I'm terrible, it's awful, what a dunce head, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting better at going to, all right, so what should I do to make it go differently next time, and that's what we need to do. And that's all we can do as humans, because frankly, we make mistakes. I mean, Patricia went on her long trip and everything, and she did really well. She went to the McDonald's, she got the double cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger, but she got rid of the bun. Well, maybe one day she'd be sitting there going, that bun sure tastes real good. I think I'm going to eat it today, Okay, Patricia's a big girl. She can make that choice, but she shouldn't beat herself up forever and ever about it. All right, I made a choice. She probably would not have as bad a reaction as I did, because, she doesn't have a problem with wheat like I do. But still, and same with you, Renee, you've gained 20 pounds back. Okay, fine. And your knee's not going to get better if you don't lose the weight again. And so
Right.
we got to go day by day. We got to go by day by day. And
I think it's important too to keep reminding yourself of the good recommendations you've already gotten.
Yeah.
mhm,
Keep getting them in front of your eyes,
yeah,
and through your head a little bit,
yeah,
because it's been, Dr. Boz has some really great ideas, and they have worked for thousands of people, and you've got that information. So
Right.
I have to do it a lot too. I have to remind myself. I will say though, that once you get off of the carbs, it's not as hard, I don't think, for me. I say, okay, well, I'm not going to eat today. We're on the, there's not going to be an opportunity. So just drink the water. And, you understand that you can survive 24 hours without any food. So,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I first heard about people going 18, 20 hours without any food, or 36 or Lord forbid 48 hours without food. Oh, that must be torture and stuff. But now I know the human body can do that. And I know my body can do it. I just haven't done it in a while. Well, the 48, you know. So yeah, I mean, Patricia's absolutely right. Now that we know that it's possible and it's not torturous to go 24 hours or 36 hours or 48 hours without food, or, you know, to not eat carbs, you know, it's not torture. Yeah. Do I want a donut? No, not really. I mean, a gluten-free donut, okay, but I'm off wheat for now. That was bad.
Well, and I made an interesting mistake recently. We have a oh shoot, I forgot what you Herbalife place here in Guthrie. And you can get their stuff with sugar free. And so I was having one of those days where I was having to run around, and I was starting to get kind of peakish because I needed to eat something, but I also knew I was going to be in my car and driving because I had several different stops I had to make in Oklahoma City. And so, and I've done this in the past. Of course, this was pre-keto, and had both a shake and a tea and not had any problem. Well, I had a shake and a tea that one day, and for 2 days afterward, I almost could not function. I felt so sick. I mean, my face felt like it was about 5 feet thick. So there is something in that now that my body is kind of away from all the garbage that we tend to put in our bodies, that my body was just like, oh no, sister, I don't know what's in it. I don't care. Get rid of it. And it has taken me a while to kind of clear all that out of my system. So even, you know, the healthier quote unquote drinks are not functioning well within my body. My body has decided it really wants real food now, which is great because that's what I should be eating to begin with. I do think also that one of the other things that I've been finding is that when I'm doing the right things with keto, I do sleep better. It's amazing how well my vision is better. It's kind of, you know, you don't think about those things. And now on the plus side of the 20-pound weight gain, I'm seeing it on my scale, but I'm not seeing it on my physical body, thankfully. So I don't know where I'm packing it in, but I'm just glad it's not showing up physically, but you know, still seeing it on the scale does let me know I need to work on getting it back off. Oh, look at the kitty cat.
Yeah, well, it's a little after 8, and so I think, hello, Wilma. I know you don't typically like to talk. Is there anything you'd like to say before we go, though?
I was just listening.
Okay, all right. Well, unless anybody else has something pressing to say, we'll go ahead and end for tonight, and I'll turn off the recording.